Today we got an exciting topic for you, and we're going to talk about how do you narrow your focus so that you can get what you want out of life. I'm Dr. J.
I'm Dr. C.
And welcome to Two Doc Minds. Today we're going to give you 3 strategies and tips for narrowing down your focus so that you know what to work on, what to push off your plate, and what to ignore. And we're excited about getting your tips because we know we have many people that are struggling with how to prioritize all the things that life has to offer. So we're going to give you some 3 great tips that you can use in your personal and professional life to get you where you want. Sin, maybe you can lead us off with our first strategy for today.
Absolutely. First, I want to preface this is that we are a channel that provides great content for professionals that are looking to improve their careers, improve their lives, and get the ball rolling in a different direction or the same direction, just in a better way. So we use these types of tools that we're about to talk about on the video to express how you can take techniques and tools and tips from people that have established them, or professionals that use them on a daily basis, or just things that have just seemed to work. And so you can use those and apply those things to your daily tasks and just streamline what you're doing. So let's first discuss one of the strategies on our list today. Define clear and specific goals. What does that mean? To define clear and specific goals, you can take a series of steps to look at what is ahead of you and what you have to decide on, and measure those in a way that you can organize it, prioritize it, and implement a strategy that will help you to effectively move forward and finish a project or meet a timeline or take on some new adventure, if you will. What do you think about that first strategy of defining and clearing and being specific about your goals?
No, I think it is critical. I think in our professional life, you heard it often. You want to create SMART goals. And what does SMART goals mean for some of you that know about the theory and some that may not? So SMART is 5 key things that you want to think about when you're setting a goal. So the S in SMART is for specific goals, right? And that goal is honing on one thing that you want to accomplish. The M is for it has to be measurable, meaning something that you can measure and understand if you're moving forward or you're not. So it needs to be something you can measure. The A is for achievable. You want to make sure that each goal is receivable or achievable in nature, meaning it's something that you know in a year, 6 months, a week, a day, you're going to be able to achieve. The R is for relevant. You want that goal to be relevant for what you're trying to do and what you're trying to accomplish. So, and then lastly, you want it to be timely, right? And so it has to have some type of time bound for it, meaning you need to be able to accomplish that goal in week 2, 3, 4. So when you're looking at that strategy, a lot of times you want to use what we call SMART goals to get it. And that helps you define a goal that I think that you will be able to reach in a sense. And so we have a tip for the day, and that tip for the day, Dr. C is going to give you a few tips on some of the tools you can use, right, to be able to get that. So, Dr. C, let us know a few tips.
One tip that is very important that we all seem to overlook or maybe not have mastered the skill is to write it down. Write down what you're trying to accomplish. Like we always mention in this channel, it's important to use journaling. It's important to use maybe bulleted lists, and we like to see things in a visual data chart or something of that nature where you can look at what is ahead of you, what is the grand scope of what you're trying to accomplish, and the tools that you can use to get those done. And writing it down puts it in your face, summarizes it, gets you to make some decisions and saying, maybe I don't have to think about one idea, I can eliminate some ideas, but either way, it puts that information in front of you so you can start to move forward.
Dr. C, that's great. So when we look at that tip and when we look at our strategy of a SMART goal, and that's something that's clear and specific goal, I'm going to give you an example of something. And in that example, I'm hoping that you take away something you can use. And Dr. C, just add on to this. So a SMART goal, right, is something simple as I have a brand new car and I want to wash my car every 2 weeks. So that's a specific goal that I'm going to do. I'm going to wash my car, right? And I want my car to be the shiniest car in my city, right? So that's my goal, right? I want to be able to do that every 2 weeks. That's the time bound. And I want my car to continue to have that fresh smell of a brand new car. That's my relevancy, right? And then we know that being able to do it every 2 weeks within my day that is relevant and achievable, right? And so that's a SMART goal. And how do you do that? Well, to Dr. C point, you can write that down. You can put it in a planner. You can put it on your Outlook calendar. You can pull it as a task in your album. But those are some of the key things that you can do to really drive it on. Is there anything else that you want to add to that, Dr.
Yeah,
C?
I think a lot of people use SMART goals and they don't realize that they're using it, because this is a real great way to look at a roadmap and saying, okay, I have a destination that I need to get to, and I need to have a starting point and ending point, and I have to manage my resources on how to get there and which way I'm going to get there to do that. So SMART goals is just something that is just probably more natural than people think. So it would be easy to implement in this type of way.
No, that's great. So our first strategy is to find clear and specific goals. And we gave you some tips around that and strategies around that. Our second strategy of the day is to prioritize and focus on what is vital, right? And so there's a different thing to understand. Something is vital, something is important, and something that, I want to do. And those are three distinct classifications of tasks. And what most people don't do, they don't bucket their tasks into different ways so they understand, where do I focus my time? What am I going to focus my time on? And I always think of it in the financial. What's going to give me my best return on my investment in time? Because that's the only thing that you have that is definitely limited, is time. And so how do I invest that time wisely, and what is urgent to me? I don't know, Dr. C, if you want to add something to that.
I think prioritization is definitely an important task or strategy to use. There are many multiple applications of prioritization. You can go ad nauseum discussing the different ways to prioritize your tasks, especially when it starts to be insurmountable in nature. But one of the things that we came up with, or ran across, is the Eisenhower box, which is also like the SMART goals. It's probably more come second nature, because it has a natural progression of how you can manage and prioritize your tasks.
And if you ever use the Eisenhower box, let us know in the comment section. Just put I've used it, and let us know how it went for you. And what Cynthia is going to do, she's going to describe that box, and you'll see it on your screen, that box, and describe how it works. So let us know what you're thinking.
Okay, so it looks like the Eisenhower box is something that you utilize. It's for a prioritization technique, like I mentioned before, and it helps you categorize your tasks into 4 quadrants, and it's all based on urgency and importance. So you have a matrix of sorts, and the top of the box is urgent and not urgent, and then you have on the side it's not important and important, and you have your do, decide, and what else we have on that chart?
Delete and delegate.
Okay.
And so for you, and when you're looking at the boxes, when you look at the top boxes, and you'll see it on your screen right now, it says urgent, important, and that's the do box. That is the box that you want to do right now, not later, but right now, right? And so that is, my child is hungry. I need to cook dinner right now, as my child won't be able to eat. Something is urgent. Homework assignment is due in the morning. It's midnight tonight. I didn't do it. That's urgent. It's very important. So I want to do that, right? Non-urgent and important, that's you decide, right? You schedule a time to do it. You use a planner. You use all the things that we talked about in strategy 1, but you're scheduling. That's things like exercising, calling family and friends, researching articles, long-term business strategies and business plans, doing a long-term project at work. Those are things that are not urgent, but they will be very important, and you have to decide on how you can do it. Another box, and that's the urgent and non-important box, and that's where you delegate, meaning it's urgent, but it's not as important. I'm going to give it to someone else and delegate it out for them to do. So you can have someone else do it. If you can do it, have someone else do it for you. So, scheduling an interview, book a flight, approving comments, answering certain emails, sharing articles. Those are all important things, because if you don't get it done, something won't happen. But those are all tasks that potentially someone else can assist you in, and you can delegate it out. The non-urgent and non-important, those are things that just take out of your life, right? Watching TV, chatting on the phone all day, listening to social media, reading a junk email, all the things that you see there. Those are things that, probably won't provide a lot of value in your life. And so you would have to think about how important that is. And so our 34th president, Dwight Eisenhower, is where this came from. And he says a quote that's very important. What is important is seldom urgent, and what is urgent is seldom important. What's so critical about that is when you use the Eisenhower box to be able to prioritize each task. Those are things that you can utilize to figure out how do you focus your efforts, because today's discussion is how to narrow your focus, how to begin to focus on the things that are most important, and using the Eisenhower box is something that's important.
I think it's a great tool. I think that it can be utilized in so many different ways just to eliminate the unnecessary, in with the good, out with the bad. And I think it seems simplistic and it seems like it may not have that great of impact, but if you go through the steps as we described the box, to go through the whole process of organizing what you need to focus on and what you don't need to focus on, you'll find that you'll free up so much more time and resources to focus on what is important.
So that's great, Dr. C. So that's the second strategy and tip of the day, and that's prioritizing and focusing on what's vital and important. Mm-hmm. And the Eisenhower box is something that you can use, a tip for the day that you can use to kind of do that. And you can find that information all over Google to do it. So our third strategy, and I think, Dr. C, this may be one that really helped us in our life, mm-hmm. and maybe you can go over that in some detail.
I'll try. So we've discussed several very, I think, want to say technical types of approaches, very strategized, very structured ways of finding to eliminate the distractions from your life. We've went over the SMART goals. That was a very helpful tool. It's very structured, like I said. And the Eisenhower box, very structured. And it applies to different people. People can use it in different ways, but not all techniques are catered to all people. Of course, if it's too overburdening to use those types of techniques, just simply say no. That's our last strategy for today. Strategically, just say no. I am not going to do this at this time, and I'm going to set boundaries that will not distract me from what I'm trying to focus on. And that is the conversation that we're having today, an overall conversation about how to narrow your focus and to keep the distractions away, and just opening your mouth to people around you who are distracting you from what you're trying to accomplish, and saying no is an accomplishment in itself.
So and that's critical. I think as we were progressing through some of our education together, we had offers to go to a lot of birthday parties, weddings, all these things that happen on weekends, concerts, and though they were all fun, our goal was to get our terminal degree. And so we went to school Friday nights and Saturday from 8 to 5. So as you can imagine, our Friday nights were all gone, and our Saturdays, when all the good things were happening, was us giving up into school. And so we had to eliminate those distractions. We couldn't go and participate in those activities. We had to say no. And in personal life, when you're overwhelmed with tasks, sometimes you have to look at your manager and say, hey, can you help prioritize this for me? Can you let me know what's important, what's vital, what's not? Could you let me know what needs to go on my plate or not? And one of the things that I learned from, one of my mentors and one of my coaches is the art of just saying no. There's power in no, right? You want to be on this committee. Well, I don't have time right now. No, that brings you value and power. And you just got to understand that sometimes it's not just saying no, right? It's how you say it. You want to be diplomatic in doing that, but being able to be able to make sure that you prioritize yourself in your time. I think that's really critical in how we do this work.
I think another way that you can look at eliminating the distractions by actually saying no, it's not only saying no to certain events, not only saying no to certain people who consistently request things from you that have time demands on you or whatever that the case may be. I think saying no is also saying, no, I'm not going to dedicate a certain portion of my day to doing certain things like being on my phone. So in order to say no, you can have a digital detox. A digital detox nowadays is amazing because everybody is on some form of electronic. It's just how our lives are today. But can you imagine a time during your day where you finally say, I'm not going to dedicate this time to being on my phone or looking at TV or being anywhere near an electronic that takes my time. I'm going to say no, and I'm going to dedicate that time and to myself, or to work on something, or stay focused and get geared towards the goals that I'm trying to achieve without those distractions. And that's a powerful no for me.
No, I think digital detox is critical. I mean, get off the social media. Right? Take some time to push that away. Get away from the television, the YouTube sometimes, right?
Not our channel.
Not our channel. Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment. Our channel is very critical because we're giving you those powerful steps. But sometimes you just have to push that away. Staying in that quiet space, right? Where it's not always information coming in and at you, where it's time that you can have a mental reset is critical. I was talking to my kids, and especially when COVID was happening and everything was shut down, and they were on school virtually from 8:30 in the morning to 3:30 in the evening. And then they're doing their social media, then they're playing video games on their computer, and then they're doing this. And so they found themselves on technology pretty much every day, except when they're all day, except when they're asleep. And sometimes some of the toxic messages that come out of that, really impacts you and your mental health. And so, they began to, what we did, a detox. We took televisions at our house. They took themselves off of their social media for a days or two at a time. And basically we were able to, do things, play cards, do anything that, kept our attention. And we were able to come together as a family without the digital technology because we were stuck in the house all day together. So it was, doing that digital detox, I think, and especially in this day and age, is really real.
Yes, I think that if you take the term and really look at it, the purpose of detox, if it be applied to food or your eating habits or just detoxing from people, detoxing from anything, I think is valuable. But in this sense and in this meaning, in this manner and application, when you talk about detox, you're talking about really disconnecting from something that's not helping you produce a goal and working towards your success. It helps you to disseminate through tasks. It helps you to put a more important task in your plan. So we went over several strategies today, and I think this detox one is the one that I most connect to. The strategies that most connect to you, Dr. J, what do you think?
For me, I would say prioritizing and focusing on a vital few. And all the things that we have to do in life, whether that's, our family and our personal life, our professional life, interacting with friends and colleagues, and just all the decisions and the things that's thrown at you every day. How do you decipher where you're going to spend your time, energy, and effort, and where you're going to kind of push things away? And so I think that's vital. The other thing, though, I think that is vital, which is our strategy. One is, defining clear and specific goals. I think that's critical too.
I've heard you mention that many times, setting clear, specific goals, being intentional about what you are accomplishing, and actually committing to a timeline. That's huge. Committing, saying, I'm going to get this done in this amount of time. I also adhere to that, making sure that I do those SMART goals. SMART goals are such a clean way of wrapping up such a very intensive task. Just set your, say, I'm going to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. That just wraps it all up into one cute bundle where you can use it in your professional life, personal life, and in your communities to do great things.
No, you're right, Dr. C. So we're going to wrap this up and summarize what we have. So our number one strategy is to find clear and specific goals. And some ways that you can do it is just by, jotting down your goals in an organized manner. And like Dr. C said, journalizing, planners and different things of that nature. Dr. C, maybe you can give us strategy number 2.
Sure. Prioritizing and focusing on the vital few. You're taking what is important, using the Eisenhower box, if you will, and actually categorizing from low to high in a, almost in a matrix style of what is more essential and what is less essential. What is most urgent, what is less urgent, what is less important, what is more important. And taking that and making it real.
Yeah, and then strategy number 3 is eliminating the distractions and saying no. Taking back your time by eliminating again the distractions and making sure you know how to say no. And again, you can do the technology detox. That's a great way to do it. And so we gave you 3 great tips for you to be able to use to take back your time and how to narrow your focus so that you can be the best person you can be. So I want you to make a comment,
and subscribe,
and hit that notification button.
Please do. We again appreciate anybody that watches this video. We are excited again about this channel. We have so much more to come, so much more to share. Our goal is to help professionals kind of gather themselves, just like we did today. We talked about prioritizing, strategizing, and making sure we adhere to guidelines. Our goal here on this channel is to make sure that professionals have the tools available to them to be the best that they can be, and to not get distracted and not to lose focus on what is important, and to use our channel to help others. Spread the word. Make sure that you share, like, comment, and subscribe, and share to your colleagues and your friends and your social networks and whoever about our channel, so we can get more information out there to better your career and others' careers.
And that was good. You got to smash the like button on that one.
Yes.
So I am Dr. J.
I'm Dr. C.
And thank you for watching.
Two Doc Minds.
Holla.